Hi, colleagues. You've selected the module for planning a unit of study. I want to go over the steps that can make that be successful, and hopefully within a half an hour, you'll be able to have wrapped your entire mental arms around the unit or have the unit inside in your bones, so to speak. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do when you're planning with your colleagues a unit of study is you want to go to the front matter of your unit, which is usually the pages that are in Roman numerals. And you want to skip to the place where it says the overview. Sometimes you have to hunt for it. It's embedded in text, but most times it is given its own heading. And what you want to do is you want to divvy up the reading. To read the overview, there's usually 3 bends, and I'd also recommend reading the getting ready, which is logistical information. So if you're a team of 4, one person can read bend 1, 2, 3, and the getting ready. If you're a group of 10, a couple people can read bend 1, a couple can read bend 2, 3, and the getting ready, and so forth. And then what you do is after you've read that section, you can go ahead and summarize the key points to your colleagues. Go ahead and press pause on the video once you've done this, and then we'll come back together. Okay. The next step is a really fun step. I just recently discovered this a few years ago myself from another colleague. And this is a way to step through each mini lesson, each session, the mini lesson primarily, and to get a big picture of it, to kind of see a bridge, so to speak. And let me show you what those 3 sections are. So just as you divvied up the parts of the overview, you can now divvy up each session, but you're going to look at 3 parts. And the 3 parts I'm going to recommend that you look at are the in this session, which is usually under the face of a child and sometimes a child and a teacher. The in this session is usually one sentence that encapsulates what you're doing for the day. The other thing I want you to read is to name the teaching point. It's usually 1 to 3 sentences, has a little flower in the margin there. Sometimes it says, name the question that will guide your inquiry, but it's just a brief couple of sentences. And then the last thing I'd like you to try reading is to read the link, which is usually a sentence in bold and then a few paragraphs, 1 to 3 paragraphs usually. And what these 3 things, the in the session, the teaching point, and the link do is they provide a bridge of understanding the session, because the in the session is what you're doing. The teaching point is the message you're sending to kids, and the link is what you're sending students off to do. So just as you divvied up the different parts of the overview, you can divvy up the sessions. So again, if there's 4 of you, one of you could take session 1, 2, 3, 4, come back and summarize what you read, do it again. If there's many of you, you could each take a session, or a couple of you could take a session at a time. Word of caution, don't get too bogged down with the stuff in between. There might be some cute things. I mean, take note if you see a nice chart or whatever, but don't get too slow down. You just want to take like 3 minutes tops to look at that session before summarizing it, because then within a half an hour, you can have the whole unit just sort of within you, and you have a really good sense of the forest from the tree. So when you dive back into it more specifically, you'll have a sense of where you're at and where you're going and where each session is situated. Happy planning.